All right, Shalom. I want to start off as always by giving our praises and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Wacha HaKodash. Divine is unto the apostles, the elders, and the bishops of Great Millstone. I want to send much love unto the brothers out there doing this work in truth and sincerity, and also want to send peace and blessings unto the believers of the hopeful elect. And as you can see, this is going to be an open forum through the Spirit, man. All right. And the name of this is going to be Ready or Not. And I call it that because whether you're prepared in the Spirit or not, prophecy is going to be fulfilled. Okay. Prophecy is not going to wait on you to get it together. There's a time, there's a day for certain prophecies to be fulfilled. And when that time approaches, guess what? It's not going to wait on you. And for you as a believer in the faith, man, you got to take this thing serious now. All right. There's a lot going on amongst Israel. We're seeing a bunch of apostasy, a bunch of scoffers and mockers just popping up at the blue, on TikTok and these different platforms, man, looking crazy. All right. But these things are prophesied about, man. And I love that this elder here, the elder brother from South Carolina here, Nasir Lakba, all right. I love that he do the response videos to all these people here on TikTok, man. I mean, he got tons of videos, all right. And just starting here with, he got so many of them, bro. I mean, it's hard to keep up, okay. But you see, you got Hebrew Israelites exposed. Hebrew Israelites are the laughing stock of the world. Hebrew Israelites versus transatlantic slave trade. I mean, these are all Jakes, okay, coming up against the truth, man. Judge Joe Brown, right? All these people, Eve, of course. I mean, but you got hella Jakes, man, who caught wind of the truth, right? They heard about the Hebrew Israelites, but something turned them off to it, okay? Something that they saw or heard turned them away from it, okay? And guess what? The Most High set it up that way so that these individuals cannot receive the gospel, right? I'm not sure which camp they may have come across or what they heard or, seen, but something they saw about the Hebrew Israelites just turned them completely off, and they became scoffers and demons, all right? And embraced Christianity or Islam, whatever, okay? But this Israelite ministry, this thing of ours, turned them away from it. Something turned them off, but the Most High did that, man. And so we're starting to see more scoffers, more mockers, just a bunch of demons, man. But hey, we shouldn't let these people worry us, because as it says in 2 Ezra 15, all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness, right? So they can say what they want to say, believe whatever, man. We know that prophecy is coming. We know that all hell getting ready to break loose. Whether you're ready for it or you're not, this thing is coming, okay? So now, first video I wanted to play here, okay? I'm gonna move fairly quick here through the Spirit, Lord willing. But this first video is from Nations Conspires, and it says the 6G tariff. This could lead to the transition of smartphones going inside your body. And we know, according to the statements that was made at the World Economic Forum by the CEO of Nokia, he said that cell phones, according to his words, he said that cell phones cannot access 6G. He said the cell phones will have to go inside of our bodies in order to access 6G. Now, I don't understand the ins and out of technology and why it's so, but for some reason, according to these guys, cell phones can be used with 6G. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. I'm just going off what they're saying at these meetings. Okay, these global meetings where all these so-called elites gather together and discuss the future of the world. Okay, but this is happening. All right, and it's a beautiful thing, man. So I'm just gonna play a few minutes of this here, then move on to the next thing. This lesson shouldn't be too long. Okay, so let me see here. My audio is good. Okay, so I'll play a little bit of this here.
This is the Nations Conspire channel. Welcome to today's show. While these tariffs are going on, pay attention to some of the narratives that come in underneath, because we know the goals of Agenda 2030. We also know the goals of what they want to do with technology and getting it inside of people's bodies. Well, when you start hearing stories like this, connect the dots, because this is another way where we can look at it. We could say, well, how in the world are they going to start telling people that phones are obsolete? How are they going to start telling people that they have to transition into getting some type of tech inside of their body? Well, this is a perfect way that you start, because this is a story that's out there now with the tariffs, that people aren't going to be able to afford phones anymore. That's right. They're not going to be able to afford phones anymore. Will the iPhone really cost more than $3,000 after Trump's tariffs start tomorrow? And the media out there is covering it nationally. That's the story, not just about the tariffs, about phones. And they're creating a panic by design. And they're telling people, hey, you better get to the Apple store now. If you're waiting on getting a new phone, don't wait any longer, because you might not be able to afford a phone in 6 months. Hey, are you thinking about getting a new phone next year? You might want to get that phone this year, right? And you could see where this is starting to go. Because, of course, if they start pricing people out of phones, these are people who cannot live without the devices. This is perfect if you're trying to get people to transition into something that you want, like getting the phone in the body and telling people, well, it's virtually free because your body provides energy, and your body, will use you as an antenna, and you won't even have to worry about it. Everybody will be connected, and you won't have to worry about carrying this device around. Well, it's a very good start, very easy way to start transitioning people, right? Price them out. So Donald Trump put 104% tariff on China, then China's tariffing back. These fake games that they're playing with one another while they're working together against the people, right? Pretending like Trump's going against China and China's going against America. No. They're just going against the people. And they're doing things like this by design so that you can't get a phone anymore. Because we all talked about how Elon Musk, right? I've said this. I've talked about Nokia. I'll get into that later. That smartphones will become
Real quick, skyrockets on the food. Okay, that's when you're really going to see people get uncivilized, so to speak, right? When a carton of eggs costs $25, right? For a dozen, $25. Loaf of bread, $15, right? That is when things going to get serious, okay? Now, granted, people will act up behind these cell phones, right? Because you had out here in Houston, Texas, you had 3 Northern Kingdom children, right, girls, teenagers, who tried to unalive their mother because she disconnected the Wi-Fi. So they chased her around the house and through the neighborhood with knives, trying to unalive her because she disconnected the Wi-Fi. This is how crazy people are, man. Especially these children, okay? They are hooked on technology, okay? They grew up into it. This is all they know. So to take that from them is going to really aggravate them, man. All right. And the point that he's making in the video is that, look, these prices going up, man, and, things getting crazy. They could very well, bring in these devices to put in your body. Okay. And make them cheap so that you can buy them as a consumer. Right. But as you read in his article, it says smartphones to soon become obsolete. BCIs, which is brain computer interface, right? Like Neuralink are the way forward, says Elon Musk. So this could very well lead to this transition. We don't know, but something is being cooked up behind the scenes, okay? And we can see it, man. Something's being cooked up, bro. Like, it is so much happening right now, okay? It's so much happening right now, it's hard to keep up with everything, right? But something is being cooked up, and this transition is getting ready to happen, okay? Slowly but surely, it's happening.
Obsolete. And BCIs like Neuralink are the way forward, right? And you say, well, if Elon Musk, who's literally running the White House right now with Donald Trump, and he's this big tech guru, even though he's a DARPA puppet, is talking about phones being obsolete, I don't understand. Isn't he selling phones too? Now he's saying we're not going to use phones anymore. He's just saying you're going to use your Neuralink as a phone, right? And he's saying update on the second Neuralink. If all goes well, there will be hundreds of people with Neuralinks within a few years, maybe tens of thousands within 5, millions within 10. And you start transitioning people and say, well,
now this is the mindset of Esau, man. Okay. If all goes well, right? Them doing these trials on people. If all goes well, there will be hundreds of people with Neuralinks within a few years. Maybe tens of thousands within 5 years. Well, 5 years from now is 2030. 10 years, 2035. Okay, he said millions will have it. Now, how they gonna get the people to do it, we don't know. But it's going to happen, man. Okay? People gonna surgically get these implants put in their head, man. This is wild. But it's prophecy, bro. This is what the Apostle John saw. But to truly see somebody in person with a freaking Neuralink in their head, all right, doing, your Howard knows what, right? Well, Elon Musk, he promised to alter your reality with Neuralink. He said that you could be able to see infrared or whatever, all right? You can do all these cool things, okay? Become superhuman, okay? Simply through your Neuralink, man. So these are the promises and the power they're presenting with this crap, man. And people are going to bite down on it, all right? Elon not just saying this for no reason. They know people are going to bite on it. And they're going to set up the traps for it to happen, okay? So I'll play a little bit more, then we'll move on.
You can't get a phone. They go, I have to have a phone. My phone broke. What am I going to do? I got to get a phone. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Well, you can come in and you can tell people that they could be lab rats and start getting this technology embedded in them via maybe a convenient shot. And then all of a sudden you start going, wow, yeah, I could see how they could transition people easier and easier and easier. They don't just have to say we're not going to make the phone or sell the phone anymore. They could just price you out of the market. iPhones, 10 grand maybe in a couple of months. Is it out of the realm of possibility? Of course not. How is an average person who breaks their phone or loses their phone going to get one? Well, you're going to switch to Samsung? Well, what if Samsung's prices go up? What if they all do? Then what are these people going to do? They can't live without the phone. They probably are willing to pay more money for a phone than they would for a house or a car. And this is being executed perfectly because nobody's paying attention to it. Listen to what's on the news about these panic attack. Now people are having strokes over the fact that the phones are going to be more and more expensive. And oh my gosh, what if my phone breaks? I was expecting to get a new phone, and people are lining up at the store to make sure they have their tech because we know they can't live without it. And that's why it's perfect for them to do things like this and pull the carpet out from underneath their feet and then say, look, you want a phone? They go, I can't live without it. They go, well, why don't you try this? The next brain-computer interface. And then you'll never have to worry about getting another phone again.
A $2,300 iPhone. It could happen after Donald Trump's decision to hit China with steep tariffs. That's according to calculations by analysts. The US president has hit Beijing with a cumulative new levy of 54%. And that's a problem for Apple, which makes nearly all of its phones in China. The cheapest model of its current iPhone 16 was launched with a sticker price of $799 in the US. But calculations by Rosenblatt Securities show that could rise to $1,142 after the tariffs kick in. A high-end iPhone 16 Pro Max currently sells for up to $1,599. That could rise to almost $2,300. Little wonder then that Apple shares closed down over 9% on Thursday, enduring their worst day in 5 years. Now the tariffs leave the tech giant with a difficult choice: pass on the higher costs and hope consumers don't mind, or swallow the tariffs and take a big hit to profits. The firm didn't immediately respond to a request for comment on its thinking, but Rosenblatt estimates the tariffs could end up costing it some $40 billion. It all comes at a bad time for Apple. The company has already seen its sales sag in key markets, and its AI offering, Apple Intelligence, has so far failed to excite shoppers. During Trump's first term, Apple enjoyed exemptions from tariffs he imposed then. Now analysts say it's probably trying to negotiate something similar the second time around. So far, though, the iPhone maker seems to be out of luck.
So, of course, that's perfectly crafted, right? And then every media outlet has stories out there like, buy that new.
Yep. So, things could very well go left, and these prices go crazy and out of control, man. But it's all being set up. All right. Trump has been given a script. All right. He's just a face. All right. But it's all being set up, man. Okay. It's all being set up, and we're watching it. All right. We're watching it, and it's playing out exactly how the Most High wants it to go. Okay. These elites are behind the scene. They're being controlled by the Most High. And he's giving them orders to, hey, do this, do that, do this, do that. But he's doing it through the left hand. And we're seeing it, man. So we're going to see, a couple months down the line, we're going to see how this thing going to turn out, these tariffs and everything, bro. Right? Very, very interesting, man. Next clip here is from Jason A. All right. I'll play like the first minute of this, and then I'm going to skip through the video. It says, it has begun. They don't want this scene. So here we go.
Good question. I don't know who's doing it. I really don't. It's not Bill Gates. It's not even Klaus Schwab, right? They're not the ones calling the shots, because they're the idiots that hang their face in the camera and advocate for all of this nonsense and this totalitarian crap. So it's not them. But who it is, I really don't know. I have no idea. And I usually refer to them, for the lack of a better word, as
they're Edomites. They're the elites of the Edomites. These top banking families, man. That's who has the control. Okay? She's afraid to say their name, and I get it, because her life could very well be on the line. So she's playing like she don't know who it is. Oh no, she know who it is. If we know, she know. Okay? They know, bro. They play dumb on camera. They freaking know. All right? It's these top elites. Okay? They have puppets like Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates and Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Xi Jinping, Putin. They're all puppets for these elites. They're doing the business of the elites, while the elites are doing the bidding of the Most High. See, as it says here in the scriptures, man, what is that? Proverbs 21, real quick. So Proverbs 21, verse 1, it says, the king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whatsoever he will. So these elites, man, they're being controlled by the Most High. And everything that they're doing, that they're pushing, is geared towards prophecy being fulfilled, man. That's how cold the Most High is. Even though they're trying to do it by wicked means, right? But it's fulfilling prophecy, man. So those individuals behind the scenes she's talking about are the elites of Esau. Okay, these top banking families, right? Like the Rothschilds. They're in control, okay, because they got all the resources, all the money, man, the power, okay? Klaus Schwab, just a puppet. Yuval Noah Harari, puppet. Donald Trump, as I said, these guys are all puppets on a string. But ultimately, the Most High, he's in control. He's the ultimate puppet master, man. All right? So here we go.
The globalitarian misanthropists, right? So there is a group of people, I have no idea who they are, but they are the ones calling the shots. And our elected governments are mere puppets. They are just, pretty much implementing whatever they come up with. To what end and what their goal is, to me, it seems quite obvious. It is to ultimately erect a one world government. What are your views?
Right. Which will be the MOTB system. Now, let's hear Klaus Schwab talk about this one world government, okay? Let's go here and listen to him talk about it. And I know his voice is hard to, listen to this guy's voice, but if you can bear it. All right, here we go.
At the same time, we are witnessing rapid technological advances with many opportunities and with artificial intelligence rapidly transforming our production and our lives. And breakthroughs from the fourth industrial revolution provide new opportunities for global prosperity and growth. All those factors will have a profound impact on the future of humanity, provided we are able to work together. To drive future economic growth, we must embrace innovation and foster collaboration across sectors, regions, nations, and cultures to create a more peaceful, inclusive, sustainable, and resilient future. At this critical juncture, the active participation of all stakeholders is essential to ensure a sustainable development path. I'm delighted that close to 2,000 leaders from multiple sectors, representing some 80 countries and regions, have come to Dalian for this year's meeting.
I find it fascinating, and it's actually the new world, and it's also built on the platform concept. You create a platform where everybody can share goods, services, and this will be very much the future. The future will not
that platform that he's speaking about, right, that everybody gonna have to share in, is that MOTB system. Okay. Every time this dude opened his mouth, he's always speaking about the future and the world to come and how it's going to be for everybody. Okay. This is all he talk about. He don't talk about nothing else but the future. Okay. And how it's going to be according to their mind. But really, it's going to be according to prophecy. Okay, the Lord going to allow this man, all right, to prosper a little bit. Okay, get this system up and running. But as it says in Job, he will not fill his belly. Okay, he won't get a chance to truly digest his lust in his system. Okay, what he really wants. He gonna get it up and running, but it won't get to where he wanted to be. As it says in Job, when he's about to fill his belly, the Most High gonna rain fire on him and brimstone. Okay, these are wicked devils, man. But the Lord is using these niggas to bring the word to pass, man. All right.
Necessarily anymore. A world where people own things, but a world where people share things. Now, this has quite some implications on the economy because you have to produce less goods in order to achieve the same satisfaction. You can share the goods. The World Economic Forum is engaged into a big program to look at the implications. For example, how does it affect property activity increase? How does it affect the measurement of GDP? So it's a new world. It's a fascinating world, and it will be the world of the future. We will share much more what we are now used to own.
It is to ultimately erect a one.
All right. So I want to stop it there. Okay, just for time's sake. The other clips and stuff, I might go into them tomorrow on the Thursday live, man. But I just want to show a few things here. All right. Oh, yeah. Salakia. Of course, the protest is going on. Okay, it happened this past weekend, man. With these people, I'm going to play this here, then I'll close out. Okay, after this one here. Salakia.
Masses of people took to the streets this weekend to protest the Trump administration. The nationwide hands-off movement saw protesters in all 50 states calling for the administration to reverse many of its policies. Protest signs railed against a broad range of issues, including deportations, tariffs, Doge firings, healthcare, and the rights of transgender people.
Hands off means restore what we've had as a democracy. And so it's being touched in the most dangerous ways.
We are very upset about the cuts to the Board of Education. Losing our money, or 401ks for retired people.
It hurts a lot to watch what's happening to the country.
And the protests weren't confined to the 50 states either. Americans abroad also demonstrated in Ottawa, Berlin, London, Paris, and other cities.
I would say it's embarrassing, but it has an impact on everyone's lives throughout the world.
There's no limit to the issues that he's causing.
The more than 1,500 hands-off protests were organized by a coalition of over 150 civil rights groups, pro-democracy organizations, and labor unions. They come as world financial markets roiled in the wake of the broad tariffs the Trump administration has imposed on imports.
This is Liberation Day.
The administration has shown few signs of backing down, and neither has the growing protest movement opposed to its policies, as this protester in California told reporters.
We need mass mobilization in terms of what's happening in this country right now. People need to rise up and make clear that what's happening is not okay, and that we're going to defend our democracy and we're going to defend our neighbors. And this is a big step in doing that, and we need to keep it going. It has to be constant. So it's critically important.
This is Inside Edition Digital.
Okay, so to protesters, man. All right, they're so-called civilized right now, but what prophecy tells us is that these things are going to get very bad. Okay, 2 Ezra 15 speaks about so-called protests. Okay, these uprisings getting physical, and they're going to just start attacking one another. Okay, maybe they're their own officials, right? But it says that they will take power into their own hands. So it's going to get deadly. All right. We're just sitting here watching, man. Keep praying out there. Keep grinding, man. All right. These things are going to get bad very soon. So I'll stop it right here. I pray it was edifying. Lord willing, I'll come back tomorrow with more through the Spirit, man. Shalom.